the Zoli Pernice. You're thinking we've reviewed this before? You'd be right. It was quite a good review, go check it out. But it is on the small bore version. They have released the 12 bore. This is the Zoli Pernice round body. 4,900 pounds of Italian muscle. So, let's clip her together and have a little look. Inherently, it features all the same stuff as a small bore video, which you've obviously gone and watched by now. Except it's a 12 bore. And so it's a little bit harder to make it elegant. And I think they have yet actually achieved that. Looking from the back to the front, you have a nice walnut stock. It is thin, very slight. In fact, the lines of this gun are very pleasant throughout. You've got a really long, slim grip that comes back down the end here. And that actually allows for a very large hand to hold it, which most Prince of Wales grips do not. This is very much an adult's gun, and I think I said that about the 20 bore. It's nice. Zoli guns are good. I think there's nothing bad we can say about Zoli guns. They're engraved beautifully by Bottega Giovanelli. They are put together brilliantly by Zoli. And the machining quality is fantastic. The wood metal fit is pretty much stand alongside every other gun out there. But they do have that little bit of attention to detail which can cut above some other Italian makers. The engraving is hand finished, laser engraved acanthus, and it goes all the way around the entire round body, which is obviously cut out of one large piece of steel. Engraved on the bottom it says round body Pernice, and I'm going to take this opportunity to say that I still don't quite get the round body concept. I mean, I do, obviously, the fact that it's rounded the edges and stuff, but with a side-by-side, let's say like a Dixon round body, that takes an immense skill. They've had to add a trigger plate and do it in, and it's really nice. With a over and under, it really is just shaving off some edges. And understand that it has to be made of a superior quality to actually be able to justify and hold together. I don't know, it's pretty. There you go, let's leave it at that. I say I don't get it, I do get it. I just perhaps don't get it as like this huge selling point that a lot of people use it as. But hey, I'm probably wrong because it works because people sell it. So it says round body Pernice, just in case you didn't get it was a round body. What is different about this round body is that it has a detachable trigger, same as a small bore. I'm going to pop that out in a minute because actually it's the internals on a Zoli that are quite impressive as the outside. That said, for £4,900, it does want to be impressive. Actually, before we move forward, I like the heading up. I really like the fact that it's rounded, it's nice, and it kind of goes. Other than just machining off the edges, they have put a bit of thought into the way this gun looks. And I appreciate that. I really appreciate the front end, just as much as the back end, to be honest. I like the fore end, it's slim. Look at the depth at the front here and throughout. It's squat, it's wide, it's nice. And it probably sounds stupid, you can't just describe something as nice. What it is a slim fore end that still has the girth that fills your hand just so nicely. Immaturity aside, it's nice. It's good. It's the perfect radius for a thin fore end. You get a lot of these slim fore ends, you can't actually hold onto the gun, and the modern shooting style dictates that you do actually hold onto the gun, don't just wang it around. Helplessly, say the modern shooting style, any sort of quality shooting style. The barrels are monoblock, 3-inch chambered 12 bore. I think they're 18.4. Let's have a look. They are 18.5 bored, steel proofed, solid mid and top rib, but they've lost a little bit of weight by not carrying that mid rib all the way to the back. And actually that avoids this gun being too front heavy. And of course it's front heavy because it's a solid mid and top rib 30-inch gun with a toothpick-esque stock. And I don't say that derogatory, I think this is absolutely beautiful. It's very classy stock. Very, very classy. So you're measuring about 1 inch in front of the hinge pin. Not that that's going to be the end of the world. Again, a front heavy gun isn't always a bad thing. In fact, gun balance is utterly subjective. It's nice to have a mid-weight gun. It's also nice to have a rear weight gun. It's also nice to have a front weight gun sometimes. Moving on from the fore end, which is done on this beautifully engraved release catch in the bottom, is the barrels and the rib. And this is where this gun gets quite cool. I say quite cool. Vaguely interesting would be a better describing word. It has a Churchill-style rib, meaning it starts wide and then tapers down to this, 4mm taper, parallel rib. But it's that spreading out to the wide part of the back that is interesting. What it gives you is the feel of a very long and pointable barrels, with probably whichever barrel length you go for is going to look very much the same. And that's because it moves very smoothly from the width of the action to the back to the front. It's a very nice sight picture. And whilst we're there, have a little look at the way these fences are as well. If we look around here, around these fences of the detonation, I really like the way this is actually shaped. What I'd like to see in an ideal world, though I understand now we're talking probably adding an extra $5,000 to the gun, would be the metal to metal fit here being that little bit better. And either that having the monoblock widened out to move with this kind of sculpted breech, and it's kind of hard to show on camera, but it does flow very nicely up into the top. Or either the barrels, the rear, the monoblock, all the action. It's so close to being really cool. But where it's a 12 where it's all scaled up, you notice these features a little bit more than you can get away with in a small bore where you can get away with all sorts. And because it's so small and dainty, it's pretty. Going into a conclusion, overall, I really like it. You know, there's not a lot not to like. And if you're looking for a classy gun that feels very mature, this is it. You know, it's not a $2,000 gun with a $5,000 price tag. It is very, very pleasant indeed. Obviously, if it was $10,000, you'd probably expect some of the little things I've picked up to be changed, but it's not. And £5,000 for a shotgun in this day and age, it's both a competitive market, but it's also depressingly now not mid-level. But you know, it's not the top end which it used to be. I like the safety catch. I know that these sort of selectable safeties sometimes can be a little bit obtuse, not quite nicely finished. This one is sleek, it's pretty, it's very pleasant. Before we finish, let's pop the trigger unit out, because that's what you're really paying for with this Zoli. It's not the detachable trigger, but is the quality of workmanship on the inside, as well as the outside, which is pretty. We'll also take a quick moment to notice how beautifully this is sculpted back in on the grip. These things take time. And I know I didn't complain. I mentioned about the metal to metal fit up here. They have spent time on this gun. It's not a clipped together simple machine job. This takes time. The checkering is hand finished. Like, this is a beautiful thing. This has had a lot of love and affection gone into it. I guess I'd really like to see what Zoli could do in a $10,000 version, but nobody would probably buy a $10,000 version. At $5,000, it competes well at what it's supposed to be, which is a good mid-level clay gun. Mid-entry of the top-level game guns. Let's put it at that. Let's pop the trigger unit out. For that, I'm going to need the case. It comes in a green ABS plastic case with 3 gold-coloured locks. In the case, we have the chokes, a manual, a sticker for your barrels. I'm not sure why you'd put them on this particular gun, but okay. It's a quality enough case. Again, in the grand scheme of cases, this is nice. I don't think I even mentioned that it was a multi-choke. It comes with 5. It comes with your choke removal and thread cleaning tool. That's a nice touch. And hopefully in here somewhere is a tool to remove the trigger. There you go. Unscrewing it, so it's not a quick detachable trigger. It is quick if you have this tool in your pocket. And then this should then just... Right. Hold on. I remember. Read the manual, folks. It was push top lever over, and then it comes out, he says. Read the manual. Hold on, Sash. I got it out by reading the manual. Unclock the hammers, pull the trigger, ring edge safety, pull the trigger, undo the screw with the screw thing, and then it pulls straight out. This is why you buy a Zoli. What puts them slightly apart from other makers is the quality of finish and the quality of machining at the price point. Again, every manufacturer sort of does seem to prioritize one thing or another, and these guys, it's the machining quality. It's nice. It's a little bit heavier duty than others, but the finish quality, the coatings, everything they use is to a very good standard. Let's leave that. A very good standard indeed. And if you like nicely made things, these guys will put some other makers to shame. That said, the majority of the great makers out there will produce stuff to this standard. However, there are some that don't. It's just nice to see. I like nicely finished things. I like the fact that somebody has put quite a few hours of hand polishing and finishing into this to get this to the standard that it is. I appreciate that time. I appreciate that costs. That's part of the reason why this gun is $4,900. There you go. Let's clip it back together. And because I learned from my mistakes, trigger assembly, first the tenon, rotate, resist. Yeah, flick your safety off and shove it back in, I think is the short version of that. And that should go somewhat Not like that. Okay, there she is. She is in. The manual is less helpful on the assembly with its wording than it is on the disassembly. What it fails to say is that you need to hook it in from the back and then slowly push forward. It says if you counter resistance, stop, but actually there's a bit of resistance there. That's by the by. It's now back together. Like with a lot of these things, there is a knack. I could now do it again in seconds. Not blindfolded. All right, there you have it. That is the Zoli Pernice 12 bore. Go check out the 20 bore review that we did. It was a beautiful thing. Really enjoyed shooting that. This also shoots quite well, but I didn't take the camera out when we shot it. So there you go. How does it shoot? Shoots nicely. It shoots as you would expect, a slightly front heavy but not lightweight 12 bore. The thing that stands out most is that you can actually get a hold of it. And I know that probably sounds silly. When you can get a hold of a gun, it makes all of the difference. If the grips are small or badly shapen, you're never going to have a nice bond or control with that gun. And this one seems to tick a lot of boxes. It's pretty. The answer is, do you think it's worth £4,900 and would you buy it? And that's something at this level that only you can answer. Do you value the detachable trigger? Do you value the quality of engineering? I mean, everyone's got to value the quality of engineering. It's a gun, it's got to work, and to be working over a long period of time, it needs to be to a standard. I think Zolis are sometimes a difficult choice to purchase. You know, they don't have quite the fan club some other brands do. And that in itself is interesting. I'd love to know your thoughts on them as a brand. I know in the US they are followed very, very much more than they are over here in the UK. It's been nice. It's different because I really love that 20 bore a lot, and this is a 12 bore. Sounds stupid. It's got to stand up that little bit more, and it does, certainly in certain areas. However, for all of the attention to detail to certain bits, I don't know, perhaps I would have put a little bit more investment in certain other areas. That's just me though. Everyone prioritizes different things. Guys, take care. Goodbye. It's been brilliant. Welcome to 2022. Don't say that. That's not. We've already done the Welcome to 2022 vid. We're going to do that in a sec. Guys, thank you very much for watching. It's been brilliant. Thanks to Edgar Brothers for sending this down for us to have a look at. It's been an enjoyable time, and it has been an enjoyable gun to shoot. I suppose that is kind of the point. It's an enjoyable gun to shoot that's built well, and as such, it gets a thumbs up. Other than that, it's a very personal preference thing, so you'll either love it, or perhaps you won't. But, guys, take care. We'll see you soon.